Okay, so we start with conditional type 2 and 3. So we look at the use of conditional number 2, type 2. Conditional type 2, watch the following video about senior women and say what they would do if they were young again. So please listen carefully to this video.
If I were a young woman now, I'm not sure how I'd cope. With all the things that you have, the opportunities, the technology, I'd like to think it could be a world of pleasure. But I fear instead it would only be a world of pressure. Pressure to be the perfect mother, the perfect wife, the perfect friend.
Pressure to be successful, a boss, a leader.
If I had my time again, I wouldn't create a to-do list. I'd create a to-don't-do list.
I'd give myself the time to indulge in the things that I now understand are the most important.
What I wouldn't give to extend those goodnight kisses instead of moaning about having to get up early in the morning. What I wouldn't give for an extra second of cuddling my babies before they became too big to hold. What I wouldn't give for 5 more minutes on the dance floor while my legs were still strong enough to carry me.
And this isn't about stopping our fight for equality.
Mine was the generation who burnt their bras.
But we were never in danger of burning out.
No. This is simply about you as a human being. There's the most important word, being. Being lost in the moment. Being at peace with the world.
Being kinder to myself.
Being kinder to others.
Being able to let go and being proud to do so.
Believe me, if I were a young woman now, I'd spend more time being, not doing.
Okay, so did you listen to the video? Was it clear? Was the video clear? Was the sound clear? Give me feedback. Feedback. Was the video clear? So who can tell me what was the video about? What was the video about? Yes, raise your hand. What was the video about? 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 Yes? I see no hands. No hands. Where are you? Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Give me feedback, please. I need feedback. Yusra? Yes? You don't listen. What about now? Do you hear me now? Do you hear me now?
Yes.
So what was the video about? What was the video about? What did you see in the video? Noha?
What would senior women do if they were young again?
Can you repeat?
What would senior women to do if they were young again?
Yes, if they were young again, because now these women are old, and they ask them what they would do if they were young again. Imagine they ask you this question. They say, what would you do if you were young again? You are still young, but imagine you are in the baccalaureate year. Imagine they ask you, how would you feel, or what would you do if we take you back in time to childhood, to being still a child or a baby? What would you do? Okay, so this is the question that they asked them. So what was their reaction, their answers? What were their answers? What did they say? What did they say about these questions? Do you want to watch the video for the second time? Do you want to watch the video for the second time? Okay, here you go.
To extend those goodnight kisses instead of moaning about having to get up early in the morning.
Oh, what I wouldn't give for an extra second of cuddling my babies before they became too big to hold. What I wouldn't give for 5 more minutes on the dance floor while my legs were still strong enough to carry me.
And this isn't about stopping our fight for equality.
Mine was a generation who burnt their bras.
But we were never in danger of burning out.
No. This is simply about you as a human being. There's the most important word, being. Lost in the moment,
Being at peace with the world. Being kinder to myself.
being kinder to others.
Being able to let go and being proud to do so. Believe me, if I were a young woman now, I'd spend more time being,
not doing.
Okay, so what was, or what were their answers to this question? What would they do? What would they do? What would they do? If I were young now, I wouldn't. I would. So think about answers. If not about these women's, imagine this question was given to you. You were asked this question. So what would you say? If I were young now, I wouldn't. What wouldn't you do? What wouldn't you do? What wouldn't you do? If I were young now, I wouldn't. I would. So I'm waiting for your answers. Okay, you are being inactive today. Okay, الفطومي. You raised your hand.
Teacher,
Yes.
if I wouldn't go to school.
You wouldn't go to
I
school?
wouldn't.
Okay, good. Yes. If I were young now, I wouldn't go to school. Marwan?
I wouldn't waste time.
Yes, I wouldn't waste time. If I were young now, I wouldn't waste time. I wouldn't waste time. Yes? Yes? Tommy said I wouldn't go to school. Marwan said I wouldn't waste my time. Kanturi?
Uh, I wouldn't buy a car.
I wouldn't buy a car if I were young now. I wouldn't buy a car. Fatih?
I would, if I'm young, I wouldn't eat in fast food.
Yes, imagine now you are old and you have health problems, you are obese, and you say, if I were young now, I wouldn't eat fast food. Yes, Abitan?
If I were young now, I wouldn't take drugs.
Yes, yes, someone who takes drugs and now he says, I wouldn't take drugs. What about would? Would. I would. I would. I would. I would. Kanturi?
I will sleep also the day.
I would sleep all day. I would sleep all day. Yes. Another would. Selma Toura.
I would to travel to America.
I would travel to America. Yes. Yes. Noha.
I will do sport.
I would do sport. Abitan.
I would be healthy.
I would be healthy. Yes. Yes. So I would practice. I would practice sport. So what do you notice about these sentences? If I were young now, I wouldn't go to school. I wouldn't waste my time. I would sleep all day. I would practice sport. What do you notice about these sentences? What do you notice about them? Are they possible? Could they happen now? Could they happen now? Noha?
No, it's impossible.
Yes, they are impossible to happen. They are impossible to happen because they are contrary. Look at this word. They are contrary to reality. This is our reality. So these women that you have watched on the video are not young. This is their reality. They are not young. They are senior. They are not young. And now they imagine. They imagine. What if we were young? What would we do? So this situation is contrary, is opposite to reality, and it's hypothetical consequence. There is a consequence. You know what is a consequence? A result. There is a result. It is hypothetical result. I wouldn't waste my time if I were young, this is the situation, and the result is I wouldn't waste my time. Okay, we move to the next slide. So what is the rule? What is the rule? If plus subject plus, remember the sentence that you said. If I, so the subject is I. If I, so what do we say here? Badr, Sha'ub?
Plus verb.
Yes, verb. In which tense?
Present.
Were. Is it the present? Were. If I were.
Past.
It's the simple past. Yes, it is the simple past. So if plus subject plus the simple past. The simple past. The example that we have in here is if I were young. The verb is were. If I were. Plus subject. So this clause, we call it the if clause. The if clause. Now we go to the second clause. There is here comma. Pay attention, there is comma. When you start with the if clause, there is comma. And this is the, we call it the main clause. The main clause. So what do we write here? If plus simple past, subject plus Kanturi.
Would or wouldn't.
Yes, plus what?
Verb.
And the verb is in which form?
Infinitive.
Infinitive without to. Without to. So if, so here subject plus would, or the negative of would is wouldn't, or could, or the negative of could is couldn't, plus the verb in the base form. Base form, it means bare infinitive without to. Kanturi, you have a question?
No.
Lower your hand. So let's look at examples. If I had a lot of money, if I had a lot of money, I. So give me your answer to this question. Complete this sentence. If I had a lot of money. If I had a lot of money. Yes, أعموم.
سيد بقى ما فهمتش هذاك علاش غنديرو تايب نمبر 2.
We use type number 2 to talk about a situation that is contrary to reality. It's the opposite of what is now. For example, in this sentence, if I had a lot of money. What is the reality? What is the reality? Yes, A'mum, what is the reality?
He don't have money.
He doesn't have money, okay? I don't have money. Now I dream, I say, what if? What if I had a lot of money? Imagine. This is just a hypothetical situation. Imagine I had a lot of money. What would I do? What would I do with all of this money? Imagine. This is just an imaginary situation. What would I do? Now, what would I do now? This is something in the present, okay?
Yes.
Fattomi, yes?
If I would a lot of money, I would buy.
I would buy? You did not finish the sentence. I would buy. Okay. Yes, Fattomi?
If I had a lot of money, I would buy a new phone.
A new? Phone. Phone. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yes, yes, correct. If I had a lot of money, I would buy a new phone. Or maybe I would buy millions of phones, not only one, because a lot of money. Noha?
If I had a lot of money, I would buy an island.
An island. I would buy an island. Uh-huh. Now, that's a big dream. Buy an island just for you. Huh? An island for you. Kanturi?
If I had a lot of money, I would contribute to development our economic.
You would. How would you contribute in the development of your economy?
To build the associations, etc.
Yes, very nice, very nice. You are an active citizen. This is example of active citizenship. Uh-huh. So if I had a lot of money, I would buy a new car, for example. I would buy a new car. Now we go to number two. Number two, if we weren't late, Abitan, if we weren't late. So what is the real situation? What is the reality? What is the reality? What is happening now? What is the reality? What is the reality? What is the present situation? If we weren't late, what is the present situation? What is the reality? I am waiting. Nuhaila Shleh, yes? You have noise. Yes? What is the present situation? What is the present situation? Marwan, yes?
We could take the train.
Yes, we could take the train, yes. But my question was, what is the real situation? Yes, Shleh, or you read, Fatomi, yes. You have a problem. So the real situation is that we are late. We are late. This is the reality. We are late. And now we imagine you are going with your friend and your friend says, let's drink a cup of tea, or let's go to the cafe. And you say, I am sorry, I am very late. I have a meeting and I am very late. If we weren't late, we would go to the cafe. We would or could, because here we have ability, we could go to the cafe. Do you have other examples, Abitan?
If we weren't late, we could understand the lesson.
Yes, someone who came late to the lesson, yes. Kanturi?
Don't late. We could play football.
We could play football, yes. Good. Now number three. If I weren't sick. So what is the reality? What is the real situation? What is the real situation? Abitan?
Real situation is I'm sick.
I am sick. So this is the reality. I am sick. Now I imagine, what if I weren't sick? What if I weren't sick? What would I do? Yes, give me now the answer. Abitan?
If I weren't sick, I could meet my friends.
Yes, I could meet my friends. حقيقي.
Teacher,
Yes.
I don't understand the form of conditional to.
The form. The form is here. Look at the form. If plus subject plus simple past, subjects wouldn't plus verb. Okay. We will see it further. Raisi.
If I weren't sick, I would come to your birthday.
Yes, I would come to your birthday. Subay.
If I weren't sick, I could do my homework.
Yes, I could do my homework. If I weren't sick, I would do my homework. Now we go to number 4. If I had superpowers. If I had superpowers. You know what are superpowers? Like Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. Imagine you had superpowers. What would you do with these superpowers? Sha'ub.
If I had the superpowers, I will help a lot of people.
Can you repeat I?
If I had a superpower, I would help a lot of people.
Yes, I would help a lot of people. Noha?
I had superpowers. I will help people in need.
I would, not will.
I would.
Yes, I would help people in need. I would help people in need. حقيقي? Maybe you forgot your hand. You forgot your hand. Okay, so if I had superpowers, so all of you said I would help. I would help people in need. I would help people in need. Noha, you have something to say? Okay. Okay, so you can screen this slide on your phones so that we move to the next one. Screen it on your phones. Screen the slide. Okay, done. Shall we move? Shall we move? Give me feedback. Okay, good. Now we have an exercise. I am sick. As a result, I can't go with you. You should start it with if. I am sick. As a result, I can't go with you. She doesn't talk a lot because she is shy. He doesn't pay attention, so he makes a lot of mistakes. So I give you 5 minutes. I give you 5 minutes. Take your pen, take your copybook or paper, and try to answer these 4 sentences. Controlly, what is the problem?
The response of the exercise.
Yes, but it's better to give time because there are students who need time. So let's not answer so fast, okay? Let's give them time to. I give you 5 minutes, 5 minutes, and I will be back. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Are you here? Have you finished? Have you finished the exercise? Hello. Yes, we start with number one. Number one, Al-Kanturi, yes.
If I weren't sick, I could go with you.
Yes, very nice. Very nice. So let's look at the steps. The steps. So step number one, remember, step number one. Step number one, we look for the cause. We look for the cause. Where is the cause in this sentence? We have I am sick, and we have I can't go with you. So what is the cause? Yes, someone to answer. What is the cause? Subai?
I am sick.
Yes, the cause is I am sick. So we start the if clause with the cause. The if clause with the cause. So what is the verb in the cause? Here is I am. This is the verb. I am. So this is the verb to be in the real situation, in the present, the reality. This is how you remember Amum. This is the answer to your question. How do you know that I am going to use type 2? I look at the verb, it is in the present. It means I am talking about a present situation, a reality. And now I will go to the imaginary situation, to the hypothetical situation, which is from the present, you go back in time to the simple past. So what is first? The subject is I. The simple past of the verb be in the negative form, if I weren't, because it's a hypothetical situation. If I weren't, here is affirmative, here is negative. We change the form. If I weren't sick, comma, this is very important. I, subject, here I have can't, it's in the negative. Go back in time, back shift, could, affirmative. I could go with you. Okay, now number two. She doesn't talk a lot because she is shy. She doesn't talk a lot because she is shy. Yes, the answer, Nuha.
If she weren't shy, she would talk a lot.
Yes, very good, very good. Yes. So where is the cause here? We have she doesn't talk a lot, and we have she is shy. So the cause is after because. She is shy. So we start with this part. She is shy. So the subject is she. If she, the verb again is. Look, present, reality, what is happening now, what is the reality. She is shy. Now imagine a hypothetical situation where if she weren't negative, weren't shy. If she weren't shy, comma, she doesn't talk. So here we have doesn't negative. We say she would, affirmative. She would talk a lot. Number three, he doesn't pay attention, so he makes a lot of mistakes. Kanturi?
If he did pay attention, he could make a lot of mistakes.
If he did pay, why did you use did?
Doesn't, did.
But the verb is pay. Doesn't is just the negative of pay.
If he paid.
Yes, yes. He paid. So look here, where is the cause? Here we have so. After so, we have the result. So the cause is he doesn't pay attention. So the subject he. We have here doesn't pay. This is the verb pay in the negative form in the simple present. The negative form in the simple present. So we go back to the simple past and we change the form. So from negative to affirmative. From negative to affirmative. The verb pay in the past is paid. Pay attention to this verb. It's irregular. Paid. It's pronounced paid without ed. This is irregular. If he paid attention, if he paid attention, comma, he. Here we have makes is affirmative. He wouldn't make a lot of mistakes. Okay, and now the last one. He drives so fast, that's why his car is dented. Amum?
If he didn't drive so fast, his car wouldn't be dented.
Dented, yes, very nice, very nice. So here we have the linking word, that's why. So that's why we have here the result after and the cause before. So the cause we have he, so we write he, subject. Drives is the verb. In the simple present, we go back in time to the simple past, and this is affirmative, we make it negative. Didn't. When you want to use the negative of the simple past, you start with didn't plus the base form of the verb. If he didn't drive so fast, comma, his car. You know what is dented? Wouldn't be dented. You know what is dented? You know when you hit your car against something, when you hit, or imagine you have a car and there are some boys who are playing football next to your car, and they hit your car with the football. They hit your car with the football. The place where they hit your car, how does it become? It becomes dented. Dented. It is first, it was like this, your car was like this. And then when you have the football hit your car becomes like this. It is a dent like this. There is a dent in your car. This little hole, we call it a dent. Okay, so screen this part so that we move to the next one. Screen this part. Okay, done? Done? Amum, you have something to say?
Yes. صدق ليش هذيك الجملة الثانية درنا فيها she weren't ما نقدروش نديرو wasn't.
This simple past, is it a real past or a hypothetical past?
Mart.
No, you should know.
I don't.
No, look, in these sentences, this is past, weren't, is past. But is it a real past? For example, I tell you, yesterday I was in El Jadida. Is this a real past or a hypothetical?
I don't know.
Look, yesterday I was in El Jadida. Is it real or I am just imagining?
Real.
Real, yes. I was in El Jadida. So this is real past. I say I was. But now look, I say now I am in Casablanca. I say, if I were in El Jadida now, if I were in El Jadida now, if I were, Is this
صافي فهمت.
is this simple? Is this real past or hypothetical? Yes.
نعم عاود ما سمعتكش.
When I say if I were in El Jadida now, is it real past or hypothetical? Or imaginary?
ما كنسمعكش مزيان.
Anyway, you get the point. Yes, Kanturi.
Imaginary.
Yes, imaginary. When you are talking about something imaginary, you say were. If I were, if you were. We use were with all the pronouns. So we move to the next slide. Next slide. So now this is conditional type 3. Type 3, yes. So look. Okay. So look at here. I didn't prepare well, so I got a bad mark. Look at this poor boy here. He got an F. An F is a bad mark. He got an F. Okay. Why did he get an F? Why did he get an F? Because he didn't prepare well. He didn't prepare well. That's why he got an F. So look at the cause in this sentence. Look at the cause. This is the cause. The cause. When did the cause happen? Yes, Shaoub.
Yes, teacher. What is the question?
The cause is in which tense? Which time?
I didn't prepare. Simple past.
Yes, it's in the simple past. Good, it's in the simple past. So the cause is in the simple past. I didn't prepare well, so I got a bad mark. Now, what is the imaginary situation? What is the imaginary situation? So what is the imaginary session? Imaginary situation? Noha?
If you had prepared, if you had prepared.
Yes,
well,
yes. Do you know the rest?
Yeah.
What is it?
I think.
Yeah.
So, if you had prepared well, you wouldn't have got a bad mark.
Yes, very nice. Good, good, very nice, Noha. Yes, Al-Kanchouri, you have something to say?
No, but
Subai, you have something to say?
أستاذ عفاك مشات لي الكونيكسيون وأنا دابا كملت معكم هذاك التمرين ديال conditional type 2 ولكن دابا ما عرفتكمش كيفاش نقصتو ولا شي ضغط.
No, this is the next slide, the next one.
D'accord.
This is the beginning of conditional type 3. You are still with us. Don't worry. So what is now the real situation is that he didn't prepare. So this is something that happened in the past. He did not prepare. This happens to many students. They don't prepare, and then when the exam date comes, they are surprised because they get a bad mark. So they shouldn't be surprised because they did not prepare. So me as a teacher, I tell you, when you come to me and you tell me, teacher, I got a bad mark, I tell you, why did you get a bad mark? You say, because I didn't prepare. I say, okay, if you, look, here we have simple past. What is before the simple past? Before the simple past, we have the past perfect. Before the simple past, we have the past perfect. So what is the past perfect? If you had prepared. If you had prepared, this is affirmative because this is negative. This is past perfect. If you had prepared, well, here you got the result, affirmative, you got in the past, cause in the past, result in the past. You wouldn't have plus the past participle got. You wouldn't have got. If you had prepared well, you wouldn't have got a bad mark. So this is the imaginary situation. This is the hypothetical situation. If you had prepared well, you wouldn't have got a bad mark. Okay? We go to another example. We go to another example so that you understand better. We have another example. Look at this young man. What's the problem with this young man? Look at his face. Look at the color of his face. It's red. And where is he? He is at the beach. He is at the beach. And his face is red because he stayed in the sun for a long time. So I talk to this guy. I say, what's the problem? Why is your face red? He says, I stayed in the sun for a long time. As a result, I got a sunburn. This is sunburn. When you become red because of the sun, we say you've got a sunburn. So this is the real situation. He stayed in the sun for a long time. He got a sunburn. The cause is he stayed. So this is the cause. And this is the result. The cause, the result. Subay?
C'est the réponse.
Yes?
If I hadn't stayed in the sun for a long time, I would have got a sunburn.
Look at got, affirmative.
I wouldn't.
Yes, I would. Good.
I wouldn't.
Yes. Kanturi, you have something to say?
No.
So here the cause, we have the verb stayed. It's again in the simple past. Whenever you see the verb in the simple past of the cause, it means that it is conditional type 3. You put here the past perfect. So here affirmative, negative. If I hadn't plus past participle stayed. If I hadn't stayed in the sun for a long time, here we have got affirmative. I use wouldn't have got. I wouldn't have got a sunburn. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Shaoub, you have something to say?
Yes. Teacher, علاش درنا hadn't?
Because why the negative?
No, علاش درنا simple perfect.
Past perfect. Because here, which tense is this?
Simple past.
When you go back in time, what is before the simple past?
Simple perfect. Past perfect.
Past perfect. This is, we call it back shift in time. We call it
yes.
back shift in time.
Yes.
You go back in time one step in the past.
Yes,
so for
yes.
simple past, one step is the past perfect. In type 2,
yes.
in type 2, we had the, in the real situation, we have the simple present. And when we went back in time, we changed it to
simple past.
Yes. Okay, we move to another example. Look at this poor guy. Huh? He is very sick. Okay, he is very sick. He's got the coronavirus. I couldn't come to your party because I was sick. I couldn't come to your party because I was sick. So where is the cause? Is after the word because. So this is the cause. I was sick. So we should put this here, and this one should go here. So here we have the verb was in the simple past affirmative. Here we have the verb come, which is conjugated with couldn't in the negative. Here we have the form negative. So who has the answer? The Badr Sha'ub, yes?
If I hadn't sick, I could come to your party.
Can you repeat, please?
If I hadn't.
If I hadn't?
Sick.
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 What is the past participle? Okay, think again, Control. Amum.
If I hadn't been sick, I could have come to your party.
Yes, very nice. Excellent. So here we have was is in the simple past. This is the verb to be. So the past perfect is hadn't, because negative. Hadn't been. If I hadn't been sick, I couldn't. So couldn't, we change it to could. I could have come. Past participle. Come, came, come. I could have come to your party. Sha'ub.
No answer, teacher.
Okay, lower your hand. Okay, clear? So these are 3 examples of conditional type 3. So what you should remember is that the difference between form and use. So look at form and use of the type 3. So if plus subject plus past perfect. Past perfect. What is past perfect? Is had plus past participle. This is had plus past participle. Had plus past participle. Would subject plus wouldn't. We use would or wouldn't, or could or couldn't, plus have plus past participle. A situation contrary to past reality. Contrary to past reality. So what is the past reality? For example, I didn't prepare. I didn't prepare. This is a past reality. It is true. It is real. I didn't prepare. So when I say if I had prepared, so had prepared is the contrary to reality, is the hypothetical situation in the past, a hypothetical situation in the past. So this is the form and use of conditional type 3. Do you have any questions before we go to the exercise? Do you have any questions? Who has a question or something? Abita?
teacher ما فهمت واحد الحاجة في المين كلوز عندنا subject plus would or could عاد باش عندنا have و past participle علاش ديك have
What was your question? Sometimes you say would, sometimes could.
لا في المين كلوز عندنا subject plus would plus could plus have عاد باش past participle ما
Yes.
فهمتش علاش have
This have. We always use this have in conditional type 3 after would or could. We use have. This is type of conditional. In type 2, we don't use have. We say could plus verb, base form. Now here we use the perfect form of the verb. We use the perfect form of the verb. This is the perfect form of the verb. For example, go, have gone is the perfect form of the verb. Have gone, have done, have been. This is the perfect form. We use this in conditional type 3. Okay, let's move. Do these 3 sentences. I missed the bus because I didn't wake up early this morning. He was driving so fast that he crashed into a tree. We didn't attend the ceremony because we were abroad. So I give you 4 minutes to do this exercise. Okay, shall we correct now? Shall we correct? So we start with number one. Number one. Number one. شليح number one.
Teacher?
Number one.
Yes. If I had woken up early this morning, I wouldn't have missed the bus.
Yes, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. So look here. Where is the cause? The cause is after because. Whenever there is because, the cause is after. I didn't wake up. So this is the verb. I didn't wake up. It's in the simple past. So I go back in time. It's the past perfect. If I had woken up early this morning, comma, here we have I missed, affirmative, so I change it to negative. I wouldn't have missed the bus. Okay, now number two, he was driving so fast, thus he crashed into a tree. Subay.
If he hadn't driven so fast, he shouldn't have crashed into a tree.
You have a little problem in your answer. Amoun?
If he hadn't been driving so fast, he wouldn't have crashed into a tree.
Yes, can you repeat the first part?
If he hadn't been driving.
Driving like this or driven?
Driving.
Like this.
Gerund.
Yes, good, good. Yes, correct sentence. Very nice. So here, this das is so. Das it means so. So this is the result. This is the cause. He was driving. So what is the verb here? We pay attention to the first one. It's drive in the past continuous. So if he, look, was is the verb to be. Put it in the past perfect. Had been, negative, hadn't been. I finished with this. This was, hadn't been. Now driving, it stays driving here. So what is this tense? Hadn't been driving is the past perfect continuous. If he hadn't been driving so fast, comma, he, so we have here affirmative crashed, he wouldn't have crashed into a tree. Subay, do you have something about this sentence? You want to say something about this sentence?
تيتشر دابا انا المره الاولى كنت دايره بين درايفن ولكن ملي جيت نشوف راه قلت انا لو فيرب هو درايف ما فهمتش علاش ما فهمتش.
Because look, this is continuous. It is continuous. This is past continuous. This is past perfect continuous. But not to complicate things, I pay attention to this one, to the first verb, to was. Was, hadn't been. Driving, I don't touch it. Driving, I put it. I don't touch it. Sentence number 3. We didn't attend the ceremony because we were abroad. Noha?
If we hadn't been abroad, we would have attended the ceremony.
Yes, very nice, very nice. If we, so here we have were, the verb to be in the simple past. If we hadn't, been, if we hadn't been abroad, comma, we didn't attend, negative, we would have attended the. Okay, now we move to Noha, you have something to say or you forgot your hand?
I forgot my hand.
Forgot it, okay. Okay, now we move to a mixed exercise. Now we will see a mixed exercise where we have both type 2 and type 3. So you pay attention here to this exercise. So I give you some time to think about, yes, Control, we don't answer now. No, we don't answer now.
Okay.
We don't answer now. We give time for your friends to think, okay? So here we have mixed sentences. We have some sentences are in type 2, others are in type 3. So this is the challenge. You should know, detect which one is which. So I give you some time and we continue. When you feel that you have finished, give me a yes feedback. Hello, everyone. Have you finished? Have you finished? Not yet. Okay, let's look at sentence number 1. I am so obese because I eat a lot of junk food. Is this conditional type 2 or type 3? I will say, now answer me with feedback. I say this is conditional type 2. Give me yes or no. This is conditional type 2. This is type 2. Yes, it is type 2. Yes. How do you know that it is type 2? How do you know? Someone to explain to me. How do you know it is type 2? Amu?
We have present.
We have the present. Yes, we have. Where is the present?
I'm so.
I'm so. Yes, it's the present. Good. So this is the present. So it means this is a situation in the present. This is a reality now. So what is the hypothetical situation? If yes, give me the answer, Abitan.
If I didn't eat a lot of junk food, I wouldn't be so obese.
Repeat the first part. If I
didn't
didn't
eat
didn't eat.
If
Yes.
I didn't eat a lot of junk food, I wouldn't be so obese.
Obese. Yes, good, nice. So where is the cause? The first thing we say is where is the cause is I eat a lot of junk food. Where is the verb eat? It is in the simple present. It is in the simple present. So when it is in the simple present, it means that it is a real situation in the present. So it means it's conditional type 2. So I say if I, this is affirmative, negative in the past. If I didn't eat a lot of junk food, comma, I, so here we have I am, simple present, affirmative, I wouldn't be so obese. Okay, so this is how we answer. This is how we answer. We have here, this is the simple past. Okay, this is the second part. wouldn't be, didn't eat, because here we have present eat. Okay. Now we move to sentence number 2. Yes, الكنتوري.
teacher بغيت نسولك كنعرفوا هنا conditional type 2 ملي كيكون في الكوز verb ديال cause simple present.
Yes, yes.
صافي.
Now sentence number 2, I have a stomach ache because I ate too much chocolate yesterday. أشليه؟ أشليه؟
If I hadn't eaten too much chocolate yesterday, I wouldn't have had a stomach.
Stomach ache. Yes, very nice. Very nice. So this is conditional type 3, because in the cause we have ate. I ate. I ate, because here we have, this is the cause, because I ate. So when we have the verb in the simple past, so this is the simple past, so the real situation happened in the past, so I should go back in time. It's the past perfect. If I hadn't eaten, if I hadn't eaten too much chocolate yesterday, comma, here we have I have, it's affirmative. I wouldn't have had, I wouldn't have had a stomach ache. Now we move to number 3. She doesn't speak good English, that's why she can't go get the job. What type is this? Rizi?
أستاذ بغيت نسولك في الجملة الثانية واش خاصنا نشوفو غير الفيرب ديال if clause هو اللي يكون في simple past.
Yes, the verb of the cause. The verb of the cause. Yes. Number 2. Subay.
Teacher.
Answer.
If she spoke good English, she could get the job.
Yes.
Conditional type 2.
Very nice. Yes, very nice. So she doesn't. Where is the cause? Is she doesn't. She doesn't speak. She doesn't speak. Cause. This is the cause. She doesn't speak. It's in the present, so we say if we change it to the past, if, but look here, we have if here. So when they give you if, like this sentence, like this, you start with if she spoke good English, if she spoke good English, she, here we have can't get, she could get the job. Now we move to the next one, number 4. The kids were making too much noise. As a result, we couldn't hear the The call. We couldn't hear the call. Abitan?
If the kids hadn't been making so much noisy, we could have heard the call.
We could have
Hear the call.
here.
Hear the call, yeah.
No, what is the past participle of here? Past participle, okay? So here we have the cause is the kids were making. The kids were making. So this is the verb were. It's make in the past continuous, but I changed this word. So if the kids, let me write it with the keyboard. If the kids hadn't been making so much noise, we could have heard the call. Okay, so this is the answer. If the kids, so here were making, were becomes hadn't been. Simple past, past perfect. Making so much noise. As a result, we couldn't hear. We could have, and here past participle is heard. Subai, you have something to say? No? Now we go to the next one. The match was cancelled due to heavy rain. If it, the match. So pay attention to this sentence.
No, teacher, no. I forgot.
Noha, yes.
My hand.
If it hadn't been raining, the match wouldn't have been cancelled.
If it hadn't been raining, possible. This is the correct answer. Let's see if there is another one. Abichan?
Sure, أنا اعتبرتها conditional type 1 على قبل ديك rain.
1 احنا كان ما شفنا 1.
نعم.
We did not study 1.
كيفاش؟
We studied 2 and 3.
دابا حنا في 5.
No, conditional. You said conditional 1.
لا, conditional 2.
2, okay.
ودرت if it didn't rain, the match wouldn't be cancelled.
No, but it was cancelled. Right? It was cancelled. It was cancelled. Ahmud?
If it hadn't rained, the match wouldn't have been cancelled.
So this is like Noha, the same example as Noha. So here, due to, when we say due to, this is the cause. But here the problem in this cause, there is no verb. Heavy rain. So how do we know if this action happened in the past or it is happening now? We have the match was cancelled. So it means that it happened in the past. It was cancelled. So this is type 2 because of heavy rain. So how can we change heavy rain to subject verb? And in the past perfect, because this is type 2. So this is affirmative. If it hadn't rained, so if you say if it hadn't rained, it's correct. But if you want to add the adverb, if it hadn't rained, the adverb of heavy is heavily. If it hadn't rained heavily, the match wouldn't have been cancelled. Wouldn't have been cancelled. Have wouldn't have been. Why here I used been? Because I am talking about was. Wouldn't have been. Noha, you have something to say?
Teacher, what about hadn't been raining?
If it hadn't been raining, it is also true, also possible. Correct. Yes. Correct. Yes. Now number 6, we couldn't watch the film because we arrived late. We couldn't watch the film because we arrived late. Sha'ub. Mr. Sha'ub.
Teacher, if we hadn't arrived late, we could have watched the film.
Yes, very nice, very nice. Very nice. So here the cause we have, we arrived. So it is in the simple past, so it is conditional type 3. If we had negative hadn't arrived, if we hadn't arrived late, comma, we could have watched, we could have watched the film. Kanturi, you have something to say? I see your hand.
No, the next.
The next. Okay, okay, go on. Yes?
If I hadn't forgotten my phone at home, I would have called you.
I would have?
Called you.
Yes, very good, correct, very nice. So the cause, where is the cause? Is I forgot. So if I hadn't forgotten my phone at home, I would have called you. So if I hadn't, because here forgot, affirmative, here hadn't forgotten, negative past perfect, my phone at home. I didn't call you, negative, I would have called you, affirmative. I am so busy at the moment, I really can't go out with you. I really can't go out with you. So this is the last one. Ashley.
Teacher, if I hadn't been so busy at the moment, I could really have gone out with you.
You have a problem. Abitan?
If I didn't be so busy at the moment, I could go out with you.
You have a problem too. Kanturi?
If I weren't so busy at the moment, I would go out with you.
I would or I could, because here we have can't, you say could, because you have to. Yeah, so this is type number 2, because what is the cause? I am so busy. I am. Now, at the moment, I am so busy. So this is now, at the moment, affirmative. So the hypothetical situation would be in the past, type 2. I am so busy. I can't, and here we have the negative of can't. So this is type 2. This is type 2. So the answer is I am so busy. If I weren't so busy at the moment, I could go out with you. Okay, you understand? You have something to say? You have any remarks? Kanturi, you have something to say?
No, teacher. I forgot my hand.
Okay, you have something to say? عموم.
هذيك ريلي غنحيدوها.
Where is really? Ah, yes, I really can't go with you. Yes, I could go out with you. We don't need I really can't go. We don't need the really. We don't need it. Yes, who has something to say? Do you have any remarks, anything you want to say?